or they didn't know what else to do. Unfortunately for Eddie, the first 48 hours is the most critical in any kind of spinal injury, in hopefully reversing any kind of damage. So they really didn't do him any service by waiting that long. He quickly became a shelter favorite, and the shelter in Texas reached out to NYC Second Chance Rescue for Eddie, who decided to take him and bring him up to New York in August, where he is now being fostered at Camp SCR. He has wheels, and he, back then in August, did not have any use of his back legs at all. So he couldn't support himself, and he had no strength there at all. And we started to bring him here at Water for Dogs in New York City in September. He did some intense rehab therapy here. He stayed here for an entire month doing daily therapy. His dry therapies consisted of passive range of motion, massage, stretching, strength exercises, as well as electrical stim, ultrasound, cold laser, and acupuncture. His water therapies include what you're seeing now, which is underwater treadmill. And what Jeannie is doing is she's stimulating his tail, which is an extension of his spinal cord. So as she stimulates his tail, you can see his back legs move. So on the treadmill, it's actually allowing him to feel the sense of the ground underneath his back paws. He's doing really well here because, as you can see, he's actually taking steps and he's not knuckling over, which is very good. Not a lot of dogs can do that. So he did a few months here at Water for Dogs, and we decided that he was happier at home at Camp SCR, being able to run the yard and play with his foster sibs and have a life at home, and then just come here to Water for Dogs for 2 weekly therapy sessions. So he comes here twice a week, and he has dry therapy, and then he has water therapy. Aside from treadmill, he also gets the pool. Focus on the legs back there. Yeah. He also gets the pool, and there he can also practice swimming and getting massage and strengthening and lengthening. The water in the treadmill and the pool is a therapeutic 90 degrees, which helps him loosen his ligaments and his tendons and his muscles. So if you can see Eddie in the front here, he's very strong and very developed in the front, in the chest area and the neck area and the head area. That's because he mostly uses that part of his body to pull himself around. So he's overdeveloped in the front and underdeveloped in the rear. So one of the things they do here is try to loosen up what's going on in the front and at the same time strengthen what's going on in the back. Eddie, we say, is paralyzed. He came to us paralyzed, but since September and his consistency here at Water for Dogs, he is now able to stand for short periods of time on his own without assistance. So at home, we will let him run the yard without his wheels, and he will pop up, stand, and even take a few steps here and there, which gives us hope. You know, this has been only since September, so what are we, about 9 months into his rehab therapy, and he really has made a lot of progress. It's a lot of progress, it's slow progress, so it's itty bitty steps. We would like for him to keep coming here to Water for Dogs to continue his progress and his journey to walking on his own again, but we need your support to pay for that. So if you could make donations towards Eddie Milo's rehab therapy, that would be greatly appreciated. You can go to www.nycsecondchancerescue.org/donate. Please note that it's for Eddie Milo. Again, that's www.nycsecondchancerescue.org/donate. Now, Eddie Milo is also available for adoption. the ideal home for Eddie would be a home in the suburbs, something with a large fenced-in yard that's fairly flat, because the noises and the traffic and the construction of the city, and the big city, actually makes him very anxious and nervous. When we walk around the city here, when we come to Water for Dogs, he startles a bit from all the pounding and the horns blasting and the cars. So something in the suburbs would be really ideal for him. Again, a yard, a nice big fenced-in yard so that he can make big wide turns with his wheels would be great, and flat so that he doesn't tip over. When he's out in the yard playing with other dogs, he is under constant supervision, and even when he's alone, because he can flip in his wheels and it puts him in a very vulnerable position with the other dogs, and it makes him very upset when he flips in his wheels. So we have to be out there to get him right up right away. Inside the house, his ideal home would have to have a lot of room also for the same reason, to get around in his wheels and not get caught up in chairs or other furniture that he could get stuck in. And he would also need a lot of supervision in the home as well. The thing about having Eddie is, because of his spinal injury, he needs to be expressed 9 times a day. In other words, we have to squeeze his bladder and make him urinate. That is to prevent bladder infections. We also have to do that. We have to stimulate his anus to make him defecate outside, because he really doesn't have too much control over that either, and that could just slip out inside the house, and we don't want him to do that. So at camp, we express him 9 times a day, and we stimulate him to defecate at the beginning of a 3-hour shift, and then at the end of the 3-hour shift before he goes into crate, and then again during a 3-hour lunch shift, and then again for a 3-hour dinner shift. So he's stimulated to defecate 6 times a day, and he is expressed to urinate 9 times a day. So somebody who would be interested in adopting Eddie Milo would have to have the time, energy, and patience to do that for him. He's not the kind of dog that you would just leave, at home in a crate, or even not in a crate. Again, especially with other dogs, he's very vulnerable. So we have to really be an advocate for him and protect him. So again, we are NYC Second Chance Rescue. We are based out of New York, but we take dogs in from all over. Eddie Milo is from Texas, so we have dogs from North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee. We even have dogs from Florida. We have dogs from the Bahamas. We have dogs from Israel, Egypt, and other parts of the world. So we have now become a very international rescue, and we are a foster-based rescue. So if you would like to volunteer and foster for NYC Second Chance Rescue, you can go to our website, www.nycsecondchancerescue.org, and fill out the application form to be a volunteer or a foster. Again, that's www.nycsecondchancerescue.org/app-form. There are so many ways that you can help. We need volunteers that can do home visits. We need volunteers that can do transport. We need volunteers that can help walk our dogs that are in boarding facilities. Those are the dogs that don't make it into foster homes. And if you're interested in adopting a dog, and maybe Eddie Milo isn't the right dog for you, you can go online at www.nycsecondchancerescue.org and view all the dogs that we have available for adoption. We have about 250 dogs in our database that need homes. So if Eddie Milo isn't the right dog for you, but you are looking to add to your family, please visit our website, www.nycsecondchancerescue.org, and take a look at all the dogs that we have that need some love and care and a home to call theirs forever. So now Eddie Milo is getting his massage portion of his hydrotherapy, and if you look at his face, we can go back to the front here. You can see how much he's really enjoying this. There we go. Yep. It is very soothing and very relaxing for him. He really does enjoy this. It's interesting, when he first started to go into the water, when he started back in September, especially in the pool, he would flail about. He wasn't comfortable at all. It looked even like he was stressing, and it was distressful. But now he just really enjoys it, and he relaxes with it. And it's important for him. You know, like I said earlier, he really works the front portion of his body so much more than the rear. So coming here to Water for Dogs is important to balance out the overuse in the front with the underuse of the rear. So it's stretching in the front and massaging in the front, and then it's strengthening in the rear for him. So again, this is Eddie Milo here at Water for Dogs in New York City, and he's doing his rehab therapy, and this is the hydrotherapy portion. He already finished his dry therapy, and he had no use of his back legs when he joined us at Camp SCR back in August, and now he's able to stand for short periods of time on his own. And that's because of all the work he's been doing here at Water for Dogs. And now he's going to go from the treadmill to the pool. And he's about 2 years old now. And he has made so much progress here at Water for Dogs. You ready? Yeah. There he goes. See, so here's a dog that is completely relaxed and enjoying his time in the pool, which is totally different from what he was like in September. We would love for Eddie Milo to continue his rehab therapy here at Water for Dogs twice a week, so that he can continue his progress and his journey to walking on his own. So please, if you can, donate to Eddie's rehab therapy at www.nycsecondchancerescue.org/donate. And please note that it's for Eddie Milo. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Dodo. Thank you, Jean Marie. Thank you, Water for Dogs. And thank you, Eddie Milo.